Hey guys, it's Erica from Asali Yoga here on YouTube. Forgive me if it feels as though I'm yelling, but the sound has been a little hard to get perfect on here. So as I progress, I'll get a better camera, better audio, things of that nature. But for now, just please try to listen very closely. This is the fourth video of how to attain a nicely aligned downward facing dog, also known as Adho Mukha Svanasana. The thing is, there's very many different aspects of the anatomy in the body that will help you to achieve this, bigger muscles, smaller muscles. So the first three videos dealt with the hands, the shoulders, the arms, and the midsection. So the last one here, we're going to focus on the hamstrings because so many of us are tight in the hamstrings. It is very, very important that you keep them flexible. Do your stretches. Seems obvious enough, but I'm going to show you a few stretches to do so that you attain more flexibility in your hamstring so that you can have an easier time in your downward facing dog. So by this point, I'm sure you know what a downward facing dog is, but one thing that I want to show you that people do, and I mentioned earlier that this is also due to tightness in the shoulders. It's also due to tightness in the hamstrings. So many people, when they're tight in both areas, honestly, is again, they sort of have this hybrid of a plank hunching in the back, right? And they do their downward facing dog this way. Again, you want to be able to have your arms in alignment with your ears. So we went over the deal with the shoulders and arms, but now the deal is the hamstrings. So very oftentimes people will try and force their legs straight in their down dog. Yes, you want to have that over time, but initially it may benefit you more to bend your knees a little bit. So, to show you what I mean, when people force their legs straight, right, they begin to bear too much weight in the arms, and then again, it's this hybrid of plank and down dog. You may be better off bending the knees, literally moving your chest and belly closer to your thighs so you have a little bit more accessibility with getting your arms and your back in that one fluid line you mentioned earlier. If you force your legs straight, this is what happens, right? So in the beginning, you're way better off doing this than this. Now, of course, you want to be able to get these flexible hamstrings. So, a few things you can do. One thing is head to knee pose, right? Also known as Janu Sirsasana. You would bring one leg, in this case, it'll be my left foot to the inner right thigh, kind of like a tree pose. Inhale your left arm up, create that length in your waist and your side body. Take a minimal twist to the right, and then try to fold over the right leg. Now, if you can't quite grab the outer foot, no worries. Hold on to your shin, hold on outside the mat. Do your best to get some length in the hamstrings. If you need to soften your knees, that's also advised. Sometimes people actually get a better stretch when they soften the knee a little bit, so don't pull, don't force, but do feel that nice stretch in your hamstrings. And remember to breathe, right? So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhaling and exhale. One more breath in and breathing out. Now, of course, you want to be able to do that on both sides. Another obvious pose, maybe not so obvious to some, is Paschimottanasana, right, or seated forward bend. So you would inhale both arms up, and then exhale again. It's like you're lifting up and over something. You may or may not touch your feet. No big deal. Breathe here a few breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Practice your Samavriti breathing, that even breath. Inhale and exhale. So For the brevity of this video, we're taking shorter breaths, but when you're practicing on your own, take longer breathing cycles. Another great one to do is pyramid pose or Parsvottanasana, right? So you would place one foot forward, left foot back, and basically you're folding over your front leg. Again, take nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhale. Inhale. You're welcome to use blocks underneath your hands as well. Exhale. One more breath in. And breathing out. And again, you can switch sides, right? You would do it on both sides, best you can, folding, being aware if one side is different from the other. That's pretty common. Just honor that. Be mindful of it. One of the things we are trying to do is to create a sort of ambidextrous quality in the body, right? So you're even on both sides. Takes practice, takes time. Another thing that people tend to do, since we're here, is to misalign the hips. So when we're here, if you're tight in the hamstrings, you might tend to kind of poke the butt off to the left or the hips off to the left. Try to keep your pelvis very symmetrical. So when your left leg is forward, such as mine is, you want to be sure that you're gently encouraging that left sitting bone back. All right, take one more breath in. If you're doing this with me, one more breath out. And then let's see. It's always Uttanasana, classic Uttanasana, not to be confused with Utkatasana, which is chair pose. You would make sure that your feet are very even. And you would fold. Now again, it is okay to soften the knees a little bit. Sometimes that helps to get certain parts of the hamstrings. Fold. Breathe. It can be nice to hold on to opposite elbows, right? Allowing your head and neck to be heavy. You would take a few breaths here. You might switch the overlapping of your forearms. And again, a lot of this is really just more about making the time to do this. It's one thing to know that you should do it. It's important that you take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day to do it. If you're sitting at your desk and you have a day job, an office job, no, it's not always like the best to just bust out in a downward facing dog, but you might be able to get a few hamstring stretches in. Maybe you can do some of those stretches at your desk or something similar. One last thing that I want to mention about the hamstring stretching is that it's very, very helpful to prevent tension and pain in the lower back. The hamstrings are connected to the lumbar muscles of the back. So people who tend to be tight in their hamstrings also tend to have lower back issues. So that's just some food for thought. Make sure that you stretch your hamstrings. You will find many, many poses in yoga to become easier, especially your downward facing dog. But a lot of poses are easier when you have a little bit more length and flexibility in those hamstrings. So be well, be healthy, peace.